Hello everyone, welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is March 1st, also known as April Fool's Day, so hopefully you guys aren't playing any tricks out there. But we're going to be talking some NBA DFS picks on DraftKings and FanDuel. But before we get started, going to take a quick look back at yesterday's picks and see how they turned out. So on the DraftKings side, we had Mike Conley, $5,800. Looking for 29 points out of him. Got to 48.5, so that was a big hit right there. Then we had Sheev Mikhailuk, $4,200, looking for 21 points out of him, got to 37.25. He was also a very big hit. Then Kenrich Williams, his teammate, $4,400, looking for 22 points out of him, got to 23.5, so he was a hit. Then we got down to Pascal Siakam, $7,700, looking for about 38 points out of him, got to 30.25. Was off to a pretty decent start, just didn't do much in the second half, so he was a miss. Same kind of thing with Christian Wood down here at center, $8,300, looking for 42 points out of him, got to 37.5. He was a miss. He's a guy that started off real hot, but then kind of slowed down as the game went on. Then on the FanDuel side, probably the biggest miss of the day was Malcolm Brogdon. It really killed one of my good lineups on FanDuel yesterday. It was about perfect otherwise, so Malcolm Brogdon, I always have words, but, you know, for that $6,600 price tag, looked like he was starting to turn it around. Just didn't happen yesterday. Looking for 33 points out of him, got to 17.4, so he was definitely a big miss. Then Fred VanVleet, who obviously got a major boost with Kyle Lowry being out. $7,400, looking for 37 points out of him, got to 58.3, so he was a big hit. Then Kevin Porter Jr., as soon as John Wall got out, put him in. $5,500, 28 points is what we were looking for out of him. Got to 30.4, so he was also a hit. Pascal Siakam, same thing as the DraftKings side. A little bit more expensive on the FanDuel side, $8,300. We're looking for about 42 points out of him. Got to 29.4, so he was a miss. And then Christian Wood on the FanDuel side, $7,700, looking for 39 points out of him. Got to 40.1 on the FanDuel side, so he was a hit over on the FanDuel side. But overall, pretty hit or miss day, kind of in between. It was a day that still worked out pretty nicely for me. I know if you were looking at the earlier lineups on the DraftKings side, I did have Kristaps Porzingis as well. And there was actually a line where I played Mike Conley, I believe Sheev Mikhailuk, Pascal Siakam, Christian Wood, and Kristaps Porzingis. And I think Kyle Anderson in there too. I really liked him once Brandon Clark got ruled out. And that lineup ended up being one of my best ones over on the DraftKings side. But with all that being said, we're going to get moved over to today's injuries. So we'll start off with the 76ers and the Cavaliers. 76ers, pretty much the same as they were last time out. Jones is also inactive, who just recently joined the team, I do believe. Then for the Cavaliers, Jared Allen, Larry Nance, both out once again. Hartenstein, Dean Wade, they're going to get a ton of run just because of that. Dylan Winder, Kevin Love looking like they're not going to play. Dellavedova, game time decision. He hasn't played in a long time, so I doubt he plays tonight. So obviously, if Windler's out as well, that kind of shortens up the bench. We'll see if they go more minutes to their starters or if somebody else gets a little bit more involved. Then for the Wizards, we have Davis Bertans, Daniel Gafford, Ish Smith all already ruled out. Bradley Beal and Raul Neto, who were both out the last time out, are both game time decisions. I don't expect either one of them to play at this point in time. If I had to pick one, Neto's probably more realistic to play, but I still don't see it. Detroit, they have a lot of game time decisions, so Killian Hayes is still out. Okafor looks like he could be back in this game. I don't think he has a major impact. Magruder, Sekou Doumbouya, Wayne Ellington, Dennis Smith Jr., all game time decisions. Just make sure you're looking out for that as the day moves along. Then we have the Hornets and the Nets, and this is probably going to be a big value spot, honestly. So the Hornets get a little bit of a pace-up matchup. Just LaMelo Ball out. Malik Monk could be back. We thought he was going to play last time out, and then he got ruled out. So just keep an eye out on that one as well. Then for the Brooklyn Nets, obviously James Harden left the game last night with an injury. I don't think he ends up playing today. Massive bump up to Kyrie Irving. Bruce Brown should get a little bit extra run. We'll just have to see how they play this all out. Kevin Durant's still out. Landry Shamet and LaMarcus Aldridge are both game time decisions as well. Then for the Magic, Cole Anthony, Gary Harris still out. Kareem Maine, he is a game time decision. We'll see if he plays. He did miss the last time out. Doesn't really make a big impact on them overall. Then the opposite side of this game is where the value could be. Lonzo Ball, Zion Williamson, both game time decisions. If they both do not play, I really like Brandon Ingram today. So we'll just have to see what happens. Obviously, if Zion Williamson doesn't play, Josh Hart also gets a bump up as well. Then Golden State Warriors, pretty much the same as last time out, just Eric Paschall out. Miami Heat, looks like they should have Victor Oladipo today. Akpala, Udonis Haslem, Kendrick Nunn, all game time decisions. I don't really expect any of those three to play, and even if they did, I don't think it makes too big a difference overall. Then we move down to the Atlanta Hawks and the San Antonio Spurs. For the Hawks, John Collins is out in this one. That's going to open up some value there, whether it's Bogdan Bogdanovic or Gallinari. They both should see more minutes in this game. It looks like they have Sal Mahmoud projected to start, but we'll just see what ends up happening with that. Chris Dunn, Cam Reddish still both out. DeAndre Hunter and Lou Williams are both game time decisions. We'll see if they end up playing or not. Then on the Spurs side, Lonnie Walker, Trey Lyles, Gorgie Jang, and Bates Diop are all game time decisions. We'll see who ends up playing out of that group. I believe Greg Popovich said that Dang will probably play today, and they want him to get him a little bit of minutes, kind of get his feet wet, I think is how they phrased it. Then for the Nuggets, pretty much the same as we've been looking at, just Monte Morris out. The Clippers have already ruled out all these guys: Rajon Rondo, Jay Scrubb, Serge Ibaka, Paul George, and Patrick Beverley. Morris is a game time decision. Just keep an eye out on that one. But otherwise, we pretty much know what we're looking at with the Clippers. But with that being said, that's a quick little rundown on all the injuries for today's slate. We can move over to DraftKings and talk about my picks over there. So we're going to start off with the point guard position, Kyrie Irving, $9,800, looking for 49 points at him. Goes against a pretty decent matchup in the Charlotte Hornets. There's no James Harden out there today. He's going to get a massive boost in minutes, get massive boost in usage, and we know what Kyrie Irving can do when he gets that. Then at shooting guard, we got Luke Kennard, $4,200, 21 points is what we're looking for out of him. Definitely doable. He's been playing like 30 minutes last couple times out with Paul George missing, so definitely not a guy I'm shying away from today. Then Brandon Ingram, already talked about him a little bit with the injuries. If Zion does not play today, $7,800, looking for 39 points out of him. I think if Zion doesn't play, he's probably a shoo-in for 45, so why not play him? Then Mike Scott, we kind of talked about him the last time out when he was playing. It's $3,700. I think he's a guy that gets decent minutes in this game. It's not like Cleveland's the biggest team now with all the depth that they're missing either, so I think he's a pretty solid play there. You're looking for about 19 points out of him. Probably can get you that in a pretty regular fashion, honestly. Then for the center, we got Isaiah Hartenstein. $3,800, looking for the same 19 points that we were looking for with Mike Scott. He is the only actual center left for the Cavaliers. I know they're going to play Dean Wade there a little bit too, but like I said, you're looking for 19 points out of him. He's probably going to play like 26 minutes in this game, maybe 28. The more minutes he gets, the better. I think it's just too good of a spot not to play him, honestly. But if you go with these five guys over on DraftKings, you have $20,800 left over, just over $6,900 per player. So definitely a couple different options you could go there with that money that you have remaining. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my picks over there as well. So FanDuel's is a little bit different. Point guard, we got Reggie Jackson, $5,000, looking for 25 points out of him. No Paul George once again. No Rajon Rondo behind him. I think it's a game where he could have a lot of success once again. Then we move down to shooting guard. I got Devonta Graham. Great matchup against the Nets. $5,600. Looking for 28 points out of him. If he plays anything like he did the last time out, he's definitely worth it. Then I talked about the Atlanta Hawks. Some of these guys getting a little bit more run. So Bogdan Bogdanovic is one of them. Seems like every time I play him, it's the wrong time, but because the last time out he had a big game, and that's the one time I didn't play him recently. So hopefully it's better tonight. Hopefully you get a little bit of that too. It's not a bad matchup by any means. $4,200. You're looking for 21 points out of him, averaging 20 on the season. If he gets that extra minutes or that extra usage like we're projecting, he's definitely going to be in play today. Then, same guy as DraftKings side, Isaiah Hartenstein. He is power forward eligible on FanDuel, which is kind of weird since he's really only ever played center, but that's a whole other story. We're not going to go down that road. Looking for 20 points out of him. Like I already said on DraftKings side, should see more minutes. Only real center for the Cavaliers. Then last but not least, I got Steven Adams. And Steven Adams has been a guy that's been real hit or miss for me this year when I've recommended him. Some games he does really good. Some games he does really bad. Well, he's going against Orlando today. And they've been pretty bad against big men recently since they traded Nikolai Vucevic away. So I think it's a game that Steven Adams could definitely take advantage of. If Zion Williamson's not out there, it could help him out a little bit as well in terms of rebounds and maybe score a couple more points. But if you go with these five guys over on FanDuel, you have $35,800 left over. just over $8,900 remaining. So you have definitely a lot of money to pay up for some studs on this slate, whether it's a Russell Westbrook. You could pay up to Nikola Jokic if you're not comfortable with Steven Adams. You can pay up for Kyrie Irving. You can pay up for a lot of different guys on this slate. Definitely a lot of flexibility with this core five. But with that being said, these are my picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel for today, April 1st. As always, I'll be listing all the news and starting lineups down in the comments below. And if you guys have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to ask. Definitely here to help you guys out the best that I can. And then with that being said, if you guys are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Definitely helps build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports. And that's truly one for you, the viewers, helping you guys with your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL. I'm actually going to try some MLB DFS as well. So maybe once I get my head around that, I can help you guys out with that as well, if you guys are interested in that too. I know that's a little bit of a different game. It's a little bit harder to do too because it's not as easy to project as like NBA or kind of NFL in a way either. So definitely going to try that out. Definitely going to try to master that before I try to help you guys out though. And then, as always, I'm helping you guys with your fantasy football teams, covering different football news this offseason. Going to be talking some fantasy baseball and some baseball news as well. But with that being said, if you are new or current subscribers yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, post up daily NBA DFS videos like this. I'm going to be dropping some fantasy football and fantasy baseball content later on this week. Hopefully one of them videos will be out later today. But with that being said, that's all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed. Hopefully you all do very well in NBA DFS tonight. And as always, if you guys have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to ask. Definitely here to help you guys out the best that I can. And last but not least, special little shout out to each and every one of you watching this video. Definitely appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.